All right, we're recording, everybody. I love it. I love it. We are recording, and now, if everything works well, we will be streaming. We'll be streaming if I can get this to work. Uh, it's so strange. It won't let me. It won't let me do it. There it goes. Got it.
You know
You
what?
know, all of
I
these
lost you
drop-down
again for a
menus.
minute there. Yeah.
Stream,
Well,
baby,
don't.
stream.
Like I said, you don't have to. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be fine. You know. I'll be fine. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our 218th meeting of Thinking Out Loud with Friends, and I am glad that you're all here. Just remember, everything you hear today is an opinion, so do your own research. We've got a pretty busy and agenda to cover today. Tomorrow, there's a big, exciting meeting going on, and we have some people in the room that know more about it than I do. So let's talk about it for a second, and let's just say, hey, Bruce, tell us a little bit about it, because you were the first one to mention it to us.
Basically, we all have a friend, Chad, owns a company called Mastermind, and PA and some lights, some really great gear, has a bunch of, really high-end, Ravages and DM7s and, QLs and CLs and a bunch of stuff. And he partners with Yamaha and does classes on consoles. And the console of the week or the month or whatever is the DM7. So his wife, Kate, who's his partner in crime, sent out a flyer to all known people. And then, of course, the day that I got it, we were having one of our meetings and I was telling all you guys and Jan about it. So I think we got some people coming in from that too. And it's a morning and an afternoon, 2 different classes with lunch between that everybody will participate in. And so we'll get to see that the morning gang gets to see the afternoon gang and the afternoon gang gets to see the morning gang. So that'll be very cool. And should be a lot of fun. I would imagine he's going to have a boatload of DM7s there, because I don't know how else you do this without people having some time on them. But luckily I've already had a couple of days on one and did a 4-day show on one. So I think tomorrow I'm mostly looking for things that I might have missed or better ways to do things, and just a professional's once over on the console instead of just fumbling through it myself.
Well, isn't that the fun way to do it?
It is. I can't remember the last time I actually opened a manual. Us guys, we try and figure it out first, and then once we get sort of halfway through it, then we open a manual to find out how you get somewhere. But I've never been a manual person until after I know how to do something.
I usually phone a friend before I buy the manual.
Yeah, and the Yamaha manuals on those consoles are thick as hell too. They're huge and they're very intimidating. So, I mean, the great thing about the later Yamaha consoles is the CL architecture is very user friendly. So, all my digital consoles are set up to look like analog consoles. Was somebody talking to me there?
No. Somebody's got their mic open. So listen, do me a favor, keep your mic open, especially David, you're in the car. Shut your mic off until you're ready to talk, because you're drowning out everyone else. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, David,
that's funny. He's trying to answer. I didn't mute him this time, but I've been muting him. So he's probably looking at his phone saying, what the hell? I unmuted myself and now I'm muted again. How did that happen?
I hope he doesn't get in an accident and blame it on you.
I tell you what, David, I'm gonna ask you to unmute right now. And I wonder why I can't unmute you.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
Oh, he's frozen. Well, we must be in someplace cold up in the mountains. All right. But anyway, so Bruce, I have one question for you. Where is this taking place? Where is Mastermind?
Fullerton. In Mike Cars's neck of the woods down there. I think he grew up.
And Mike, you're in the room, so I'm going to spotlight you for a second so that we can look at what you've got going on.
Yeah.
Show us, he's got a bunch of consoles.
Yeah, I'm just trying to learn the differences between the new, the old, and because I am so slow with this.
So you're sitting in front of a DM7, is that correct?
Yeah.
So, Mike, it is a little slower. That's for sure.
Well, I can't figure out how to do, say, multiple things. You know, typical Yamaha, you can change the name of something and you don't have to hit enter. You can just go to the next channel, select another channel and change it. But I can't seem to get that kind of speed up on this board yet. So I'm going to watch some people tomorrow that maybe are a little faster than me.
Yeah, that's good. You're jotting down some questions because I can't think of any at the moment, but
Yeah, I'm trying to get this jog wheel to be the touch and turn. I can't seem to get it to do the thing because it's so easy. It's so big.
I had heard that the jog wheel wasn't available to the console quite yet. It was an after thing for like an editor or something, but I might be wrong. I don't know.
Well, it kind of is because see, I'm turning the jog wheel and I'm moving this. So
oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't even touch it when I was using it.
I may have just discovered it. So let me go to something else. Let me go to pan.
You know, when you're far away from your phone, you're dropping out a lot.
Yeah. It's going to be
blinking.
good for those people.
Yeah,
it's going to be great for those people listening to the podcast, the audio version of it. You know, they're going to love this.
Let me go to the pan here.
That's better.
Yeah, okay, so the jog wheel is working. Check it out.
Oh, that's cool.
So you have to choose what bay the jog wheel is assigned to, and I had it assigned to the wrong bay, so now it's assigned to the center bay and not the left bay, and now it seems like it's working. So that's pretty cool because you can find the jog wheel without looking because it's so big.
Hey, Bruce, weren't you
Yes,
gonna
sir.
take up more jogging anyway?
I keep, I jog every night in my dreams.
Yeah. Well, I was under the impression that you almost jogged every night. You almost jogged last night. You almost jogged the night before.
Almost. I went to the gym today. I sat in the parking lot for a while.
That's a good place.
I actually try to go every other week, but I mean every other day. Sorry.
That's where the word almost comes in very handy.
It does, yes.
So Mike, what were the other consoles in the room?
There's a QL5 and a Dante DM3.
I haven't
That's a
played with
nice
the Dante
selection.
enabled one yet, but boy, don't those DM3s sound great?
Yeah, but I think it's almost just a cute TF1 in a smaller form factor.
A little easier too. Mike Karp bought like 8 or 9 of them, and we've been using them. I built a little template. We've been using them for breakout rooms, and they're a lot easier to look at than those TFs are just goofy.
Well, the screen is bigger, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
So
Very
and
good.
I've got a Rio, a TO, some ULXDs, and some unsupported Dante devices, including a 64-channel Joko player, also Dante'd in. And it's similar. The thing that pisses me off about this mixer is Dante starts at channel 33. And, because channel 1 through channel 32 are the inputs on the back of the desk, but I don't always do it that way. So I think I need to make a blank template where I have to have it all zeroed out.
Yes, because I was able to change that because I start at 1 also. And I think the QL does that too, doesn't it? Doesn't there's a QL. Yeah,
No,
you just gotta build a template, with it set up the way you want it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know. And then the stupid touch, you can't use the sharp on the touch screen, so it's really slow.
I know. And you know what? I bought a whole box of these little soft ended pointers, and I'll bring you a couple of them tomorrow because my fingers don't do touch screens too well, and I hate adjusting. I would rather adjust the EQs, with the knobs than touch screen because you end up like doing something dumb when you're moving your hand around, That could be really hazardous.
Well, I think it's
No,
more
agree.
precise when you're moving fast if you could use your fingers rather than an object.
Yeah, a Sharpie on a QL or a CL touchscreen, I can power through it.
Oh, I could go fast with the blunt end of the Sharpie. Yeah, that's great.
There's
And
a
then
lot of latency. You press it.
yeah, you're digitizing pretty bad. Okay, go ahead.
You are digitizing pretty bad, but I'm sure that's because you're not going through the console. If you were going through the console, it'd sound perfect.
So, Mike, here's the other thing that we discovered when we used it the first time. All the Avio, the dongles, what the hell are they called? The Avio, the Dante tails that plug into your
Right.
laptop they're only 48K. So if you're running the console in 96, it sees it, but it won't let you, it doesn't pass any audio. And it took us an hour to figure that out. It was so damn annoying. And so
Oh,
we
wow.
just shut everything down and changed it to 48K and turned everything back on, and boop, it all worked. And you know what the cool thing is too, is the Rios don't care. You don't have to do anything. You just send it, whatever you send it, and it says, okay. And it, you know, because we were running them we were running the console at 96 in the beginning and didn't do anything to the Rios because we didn't know to do anything with the Rios, and they worked just fine. And then when we changed the console to 48, we just shut it down, turned it back on again, changed it to 48 and rebooted it. And the Rios came back and they kept right on working. So it's like, wow, we learned about that today.
Okay.
It's amazing to
Well,
me
thank you. I'm
how
sure
much you
saved
could
some
learn.
time.
Yeah.
Even though you've been doing it so long. It's like, you know, there, I guess the old expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, doesn't apply to old audio dogs.
We're just a little slower learning though, because,
Yeah.
you know, my brain doesn't work as fast as it used to, that's for sure.
All depends on what the reward is for the behavior.
Yeah.
Aha. Yeah.
Ooh, you're getting all philosophical on us, huh?
Well, you know, he must be doing really a lot of shows up there in Bend. How's the shows going? You're doing like a show a night now, right?
Doing a lot. We're doing sometimes 2 or 3 shows in 2 different states at the same time. So
Wow.
a little
You're
crazy.
actually in Bend?
I'm not in Bend right now. I'm in Seattle.
Oh, it's such a pretty area, Bend.
Oh, we do tons of shows in Bend. We do a whole season down there.
I came over Grants Pass. I drove a tractor trailer in the middle of the wintertime over Grants Pass, and I'll tell you, that was pretty hairy.
I bet.
Oh,
They they were convoying us over because we had to wait at the bottom till the graders and the sanders got over there and crossed the road and got in front of us. And then, like, you know, 10 tractor trailers, we'd follow them over the mountain because they were pushing snow and sanding. And then we'd go on and they'd turn around and pick up a bunch of vehicles and go back in the other direction. And I'll tell you, coming down the other side, I had to keep the trailer brakes on, you know, like 10, 15%, and keep a little bit of power in a low gear on the tractor to keep the damn thing straight. Cause, you know, you get jackknife coming down the hill because it's like 11 miles of 6% grade, you know?
Yep.
It's the only,
it's a rough one.
oh, it's so beautiful up there though. It's just so gorgeous, but I'll remember that forever. That was like in 83 or something, 82. I was going up to the Boeing show when we did the launch of the 757.
Yeah, it's funny how certain things in your mind always stay with you, you know? And you know what's really interesting is that when you get together with an old friend, they seem to have a memory, and that it's clear as a bell for them, and you can't remember it at all.
Yeah,
you know,
that's weird.
You remember that time we blah blah blah, and you know, and it's a good memory. I mean, the bad memories, of course, no matter what they say, I'll get it out of my mind, and even if I did remember, I wouldn't admit it, you know. But
Well, I remember coming down the side of that mountain exactly how I felt, because it was like, you know, pins and needles, you know, because
yeah.
it's just a lot of money's worth of truck and the stuff I had on it and everything else. And it was very intimidating, I'll tell you. It's like driving with an egg between your foot and the pedals, you know?
That's pretty. Hey, Chris, what's going on, man, over there in Hollywood, California?
I'm on the west side. I think David's over in Hollywood, but
Are you in Randy, California area? Where are you? You know,
I'm in the Pacific Palisades, so it's kind of between Santa Monica and Malibu.
oh, did you have lunch with Tom Hanks yesterday?
I don't think so. I was
You'd remember.
doing a show. I had to like load out all of my drum gear, and we played a gig, and then, you know, played and recorded, and then had to tear it all down, and pretty tiring.
Should have played the harmonica.
You know, well, the vocalist is female. Yeah, she shows up with a purse, which inside she's got her own microphone and like 3 or 4 harmonicas and a tambourine, and that's her kit. And I got like, a pickup truck plus a 4Runner and, 1,000 pounds worth of gear. But anyway.
Well, that is cool. Guess what? You and me are going to be getting together in August. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in August. The great news, everybody who's listening and those people that care, we got our K1 visa for the United States. It came in the mail yesterday. So we are on our way. We leave in August, the end of August, and we're going to go to Las Vegas for about 4 or 5 days. And then we're going to go down to Los Angeles. And from Los Angeles, we're going to fly to Baltimore. So it's going to be a really whirlwind trip. It's going to be very exciting for us. And I am so looking forward to, traveling around the country and meeting everybody individually and getting together with everyone because we're going to be moving around the country. So we're going to be looking forward to getting together with everybody that's supporting the show. There you go.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, she was so excited when that paper came in the mail. We knew we were getting it. She was excited the day that we got it. A very interesting story. So we haven't spoken since it happened, right? Because we had the meeting the day after our show. Actually, that day on Thursday. So right now it's Thursday here, Wednesday where you guys are. And so we went to the embassy, and of course they wouldn't let me in. So I had to go across the street, and the guy says, well, it's going to be 4 hours. She's going to be inside for 4 hours. So if you want, you can go away, or there's a Starbucks across the street. You could go over there and hang out, and she'll get you when she comes out. So I said, okay. So 4 hours is a long time, and I was thinking that I was going to go somewhere else and do something. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to sit in that Starbucks for 4 hours. I had my iPad in there. About an hour and a half later, she calls me on WhatsApp, and she's crying. And I'm saying, oh, fuck, she didn't get it. And so I said, where are you? When we discussed where we are, I was across the street, I told her. And I was so sad looking at her face and how she was crying, that I was just so sad. She said, I want to see you now. So anyway, I packed everything up because I figured I had to console her. And I'm thinking the worst, and then I see her crossing the street and I could see in her face, she's really sad, really, really sad. And she runs over to me and she gets this close to me and starts laughing. And she said, I got it. And I wanted to kill her at that moment. I wanted to absolutely kill her, But man, we've been celebrating ever since. So today she actually got the visa. It came, they say it takes 2 weeks, but in reality, it took less than a week to get the visa, including a weekend.
That's awesome.
So we're coming to the United States. We're coming to America. And so anyway, so who else has got something they want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Tomorrow, let's see, David and Bruce and I are getting together down in Fullerton for a Yamaha training. So that should be cool.
That should be really cool because we were just talking about Bruce is there. Mike you just saw the consoles with Mike. He's preparing and getting ready to go.
Chris,
So
what time?
Sorry?
What time you going, morning or afternoon?
Oh, I'm doing the morning.
We are too.
Yeah.
Good.
No. That I'm going to leave here at about 8:30. Hopefully that'll get me down there by 10. And my buddy Curtis can't make it. He had to cancel, but I'll be there tomorrow at 10.
Oh, that's great. That's going to be fun. This is going to be great.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. And there's a great pizzeria down there in Fullerton. We can go for lunch after.
Really? Well, they're serving lunch.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's 2 hours between the morning and the afternoon session, and both sessions can have lunch at that time. So we get to see all the afternoon people too.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Which is good.
Send them the address to the pizza parlor. Maybe they could order some pizzas too while you're there.
Okay.
That's it.
That's probably.
All right, David's live, and David's live.
Probably where
I think David has some questions.
So that's not it. No.
All right, David. All right, I had to mute David again, but I'm gonna. You can unmute yourself if you're ready to talk to the group. All right. Can't hear anybody now. What's going on? Can anybody hear me?
Mr. Cars,
Oh,
are
yeah.
you? Or do you know where this pizza place is?
It's called Fuoco,
There we go.
Fuocco.
Yeah, because Mike
All
grew
right.
up in that area, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
So
On-
I
Bruce,
had
on-
to.
Get up.
let me ask you that question I was trying to ask you before I got disconnected.
Yeah, sorry.
After it's over, we're gonna have lunch with the afternoon group and the morning group, and then we're leaving, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just wanna make
I've
sure I'm
got
not
it.
stuck.
I've got some commitments up here in the afternoon, late afternoon, so I'll have lunch and hang out and then come back.
Yeah, when they're ready to start, we'll leave. I mean, we can leave anytime. I don't care, but I got you and Gary, so Gary will stay all day talking about intercom stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine
Is
with
Kenny coming too? Is Kenny going to
No.
go?
I hadn't. I should have asked him the other day when I was talking to him, but I didn't. You know what? Gary built. You guys that are have you guys been using the HelixNet digital intercom?
Sorry, what was the name?
HelixNet. It's Clearcom's digital intercom. HelixNet and FreeSpeak. No,
I've heard of Free Speak, but not the intercom.
right. Well, they're like 12 channels. They're like bunch of. I think they're even more than that. I don't know. Mr. Cars might be able to. He probably is familiar with them, but you always have a hard time figuring out who's talking on what channel if you have one of the base stations. So Gary built a little box with a set of lights on it. And whoever's talking, though, whatever channel the person's talking on, it lights up on that channel, so you know who's talking on that. It's like, oh my God, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary's one of these guys that if you decide you need something, if it doesn't exist, he'll sit down and 3 hours later he hands you a little black box, with no letters on it, and he says, "Hey, check this out."
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Oh, he's built some cool stuff for me in the past. I have insert snakes I could tow my car with. They're so heavy duty.
Yeah, I see Wayne's having a good laugh down there.
That's all sounding very good.
Looks like, Mike, what are you doing there? You doing aerobics or are you putting the consoles away? You're muted.
You're muted.
I
You're muted,
had to
Mike.
mute him because when he
Oh.
was making some noise. Let me see if I can unmute. I
think he's
There we go.
unmuted.
He's unmuted now.
I just unmuted him.
No, I'm going to go in my car. I got to go for a commute, so I'm going to listen to you guys. So you can keep me muted, and I'll just listen in, and I'll see some of you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you
Well,
tomorrow,
I'm sorry
buddy.
I can't be there. It sounds like it's going to be a very fun and very insightful meeting. A bunch of great minds are going to be down there.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It should be very cool.
And Chad
Yeah.
is a great guy to work for, and he's got great gear. And if you guys that don't know him should make sure you have me introduce you if your connection to him is me, and if not, just introduce yourself, because he's very sarcastic. He's got this really warped sense of humor that I absolutely love, but he's super cool, and he builds all his own racks, and everything is like, everything is faxed out before it goes out on the show, and us AV guys aren't used to that kind of shit. But
Who
I
is
love
that?
Mastermind, Chad.
Oh, very good. Hey, by the way, Ken Newman's in the room now. If you had that, you could ask him that question now, Bruce.
Kenny, are you going to the DM7 thing at Chad's tomorrow, at Mastermind tomorrow? I don't see him on the screen.
Yeah, he's there. He's hiding. He's
Oh,
hiding.
I see him. His mic is off.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I'll be going there. I'm in St. Louis tomorrow.
Kent?
St. Louis.
Well, it's a quick flight over.
You know
Where
what?
are you in St. Louis?
What?
Where in St. Louis, and what are you doing?
Show tomorrow night at the Enterprise Center. That's an arena in St. Louis with Mr. Barry Manilow, the legend himself.
Did you ever go up in the arch?
I think I went up in there in the 80s, didn't I, David? Didn't we go up in there in the arch with Anne Margaret in the 80s?
I got so claustrophobic when I did that. It was brutal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't do well at all.
Like being in an MRI machine, hey? I would hate
I don't do well in those either.
that.
I tell them, you got to bring drugs if you're going to get me to lay still in that thing, because I can't deal with that.
Well, don't go up to the Statue of Liberty either.
I did when I was a kid, but I haven't in my later days. But yeah, it's pretty tight in there.
Might have done better if you had Anne Margaret with you.
Well, she herself wasn't with us, but it was I seem to remember we went up there with the crew.
Oh,
Yeah, I got I got diagnosed with a brain tumor a number of years ago, and I was in the in the MRI, and this guy in French is like, "Est-ce que vous êtes au courant de l'anomalie? You know, are you aware of the anomaly?" And I'm like, "No, what anomaly? Ah, do not worry." They stuck me back, you know, go back to 7 more minutes, you know, and so I went back in.
Oh, it makes rude noises.
And then
what it is magnets spinning around. I saw a YouTube
it's
special on that.
loud.
It's amazing, and they have to keep it cold in that room, so the magnets for about the magnetization.
I was liking it cold, but I had to take my glasses off, so nothing was in focus. And you're laying on that board, and it's just I couldn't take it.
And you kept your eyes open? Come on, I kept my eyes closed.
And
I was just like, and they gave me the headphones with the music or whatever, so you couldn't hear
but it's
too much,
It's like the old airline ones, the speakers in the other room, and they pipe it in this tube, and one of them didn't even work.
Yeah, because
you went to the wrong place, Bruce. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
You must have gone to Joe's MRI or something.
Well, it was St. Joe's Hospital.
Oh, there you go, Joe. See?
Yeah. Blackie's MRI, MRI question mark. That's how it is.
But I gotta say, the MRI was nothing compared to when I got up onto an antenna tower. I don't know if any of you have ever.
You did that?
I got up onto, climbed up like, I think it was like 150 meters, so like 450 feet. I mean, it was.
Oh my God.
I got up to like the second platform where we had some relays, and I was absolutely losing it. I mean, MRI was peanuts compared to climbing the antenna.
But you actually climbed up, though.
That? Come on, like you climbed up a ladder?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. It's like a submarine ladder, and then you get off, and then you turn around.
That's crazy.
And then you make it up to another platform, and then you get another submarine ladder. And
why were you doing that? Just for the fun of it? Somebody on a bet or what?
No, we were running a high-speed wireless link in between a hotel and this tower, and we were running all the comms from the hotel from a PBX, over a wireless link to the to a telecom provider. So it was. He's like, yeah, you want to go up on the tower? And I'm like looking up going, yeah, that looks great. And, holy smokes, man. It is much higher than it looks.
Yeah, and then you have to wear the guide wires on you so in case you fall, right? They put guide wires on you, right? So that in case you fall.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're kind of in this area where you really can't fall, but yeah, you basically have a clip, you clip on and then you clip off and clip on and clip off, but yeah, it's
so
much too high.
It could have been a rigger.
Funny story. The first year they did E3, well, for about 5 years, I worked on the design team for the Sony PlayStation booth. And the first year it was 3 stories because they had a restaurant and a bar in the top. And when I went up to put the speakers in and wire the top floor, there was this grand staircase that went up there. Now we're in the convention center, so we're kind of near the ceiling, the beams. So I get up there and I spend the afternoon up there, and I'm walking around and I'm doing stuff, right? Well, at some point during the day, they decided to take the damn stairs away, right? And so I had no idea how I was going to get down, and I couldn't stand too close to the edge because it's freaking me out. So Gary, and if you ask Gary, Kenny, if you ask Gary about this, he doesn't let me forget this. He drove the lift up to the side of the booth and then raised the lift up so that I could step off the roof onto the lift, but he couldn't get close enough, right? He was like 4 feet away. And I'll tell you, there is nothing harder than having to step off that roof onto that lift that moves. And Gary ended up straddling the two and taking my hands and helping me get onto I was freaking out. My brain just was misfiring all over the place. I couldn't do it. But if it wasn't for Gary, I'd probably be still up there. And that was like 20 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing that you did that. That is.
Oh, I could. Yeah,
No
he was
way.
like, just
No way.
Gary, just like you go up and you just step over, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't.
Oh,
and I,
yeah, man,
oh my God.
Well,
And
it's
then
all
even
perception.
some of those,
It's just
even some of
it's all
those
perception.
rides, like where you get onto the ride and you're sitting down and then it goes up and then it falls straight back down, and oh my God.
Well, the first time I was in a cherry picker, I was with Gary and we were stringing cable, and you know, Gary's not afraid of anything, and definitely not heights, you know, and I'm a little freaked out. I'm okay on something as long as it's stable and I can grab a hold of it. You know, I have to work with one hand because I'm holding on for dear life with the other hand. But here we're, you know, the sail at the San Diego Convention Center, we were stringing 260s across the cables on the sail. And Gary was driving that thing like 50 miles an hour with the boom sticking out like 70 feet, and it was bouncing all over the place. And I was like freaking out.
I'm sure you're no good on ladders either, right? No ladders for you, right?
No.
Some people that doesn't bother, but I don't know. I can't.
It doesn't bother Gary at all. And oh my God, if I even watch him do that, I get sick to my stomach, you know?
So you have leaf filter on your house then, right, Bruce?
I have what?
Those leaf filter things in your gutters?
I do, and I hire some guy to get up there on the roof with a blower and clean them out.
Yeah, my son who was in the Marine Corps and he's out, and at any rate he sent me a video. He was down with some civilian aircraft and he's sitting inside, and you know, all of a sudden they just pull the door open and he's attached to this dude, and he's like, and they just jump out of an aircraft. And
you could not get me to jump out of a plane.
Oh man, I am telling you, just looking at the video was horrifying enough.
You know what? If I was strapped to some guy to do a jump, you know how you do that when you're inexperienced, right? I'd have a death grip on the goddamn door. You know, you'd have to break the door off to get me out of the plane.
I think I would go unconscious. I'll go unconscious as soon as I got that blast of air. You know, you're going pretty fast when you jump out of an aircraft, I would imagine. I just think I just visualize it all the time, and I think I would just go unconscious. I just, boop, I'm dead.
And
you know that guy Philip Bumgarden? You know who Philip Bumgarden is?
Oh, the guy who jumped out of at the zenith, out the edge of the atmosphere. Yeah,
Space plane.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Wow.
Hervé Baumgartner. Yeah, that guy's got a pair.
Oh my God.
That's just scary stuff.
He jumped out of that thing with just a parachute on. Nothing
but I
more.
see Mike Cars is on here. I haven't seen Mike Cars in ages. How you doing, Mike?
I know. It's good to see him.
Wow. You have like a Santa Claus beard going on there, don't you? Yeah, wow.
Well, he lives at the North Pole, you know?
Yeah, right. Like Arrowhead, yeah, right? Wow. Great to see you, Mike.
And tomorrow he's bringing gifts. Unfortunately, you won't be there.
You know, when he calls me and he said, I think I'm not going to get there today because they haven't plowed our road yet. What does that tell you?
Is that recent?
No, that was when he first moved up there. I remember having a conversation with him.
Yeah,
he says, we can't get out for 3 days because this is the last road to get plowed.
That's great.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I remember, Mike, when I had my first Forester and you gave me so much grief for selling it because you wanted that car so bad because you had just gotten the house up on the mountain there. Those Foresters are like snowmobiles, man. I love the Subaru Foresters. Those are cool.
Oh, great cars.
I have an Ascent now.
What's the difference between a Forester and the Outback? Because the Outback seems to be the more popular one.
Well, the Outback is a little longer and not quite as tall. So, but I have an Ascent now, and the Subaru all-wheel drive system.
Wow, how do you like that?
It drives great. It's got a shitload of room in it. I really love it. The problem is it's heavy, and you know they only make 2 4-cylinder engines, and the engine that's in it is what they put in the WRX with the turbo. So it does not get as good a gas mileage as I wanted it to get. And I keep telling them, I just went in for my 10,000 mile checkup, and I said, dude, if this thing doesn't get better gas mileage, then next year we're trading it in. Because you know, they say the EPA ratings say like 18 around town and 22 on the freeway. Well, you know, I get like 15 or 16 around town and maybe 19 on the freeway. And I don't, you know, it's terrible.
did you get a friends and family discount on that thing though, for working the booth and stuff?
No, I never did that. They offered it to me, and
really?
it was,
Bruce, that is the definition of your mileage may vary.
Yeah, but you know what? I've always gotten, I have
And
always
probably will. Yeah.
I've always gotten on my cars better mileage than the spec on the window, And my Forester, I could get an easy 26 around town and 31, 32 on the freeway, unless I was going to a long distance and I was going 80 miles an hour, then it would drop to like 24, 23. But for the most part, I could beat the specs easily. But boy, this thing, I told him the other day, my service guy, I said, listen, dude, if we can't get better gas miles out of this, next year I'm buying a Silverado because that's what I really wanted.
Why didn't you buy the Silverado in the first place then?
Because my wife won't drive a truck. So this was the nearest thing. This is the Silverado with a diesel engine is what I really want. But
you should get the Hummer EV because it's
no.
It's only 9,000 pounds.
9,000. They're heavy as shit. Those batteries are just huge.
9,000 pounds. Wow. My Forerunner was 6,000 and change pounds, and that was a lot.
I thought the Outback was just the Australian version of the Forester.
Oh, is that what it is?
There's an Italian version?
No, Australian.
Outback. Oh, Australian. Oh, the Outback.
All right, Wayne.
Get it? Kurt,
give us the truth, Wayne. Tell us what's going on.
So quick survey. Who likes and who dislikes the look of the Cybertruck?
I think it looks like a garbage can. It's ugly as shit.
I don't think I've seen
it.
Okay,
so the overwhelming reaction is thumbs down on this.
I think actually the overall look is not that bad. That is no comment on utility or.
I think it's interesting. It's interesting.
It is interesting. It does,
but I don't personally. I don't like it.
Do you remember when he first introduced it? Do you remember when Elon Musk first introduced it? He said that it was like impenetrable, and they threw a rock.
And he broke the window.
So listen.
Battle in a public bathroom.
That was so funny.
Public service announcement. There's a Jay Leno's Garage episode where Jay interviews the designer of the Cybertruck, and I watched just the first few minutes of it, and it was very interesting. I just might suggest if anybody has any interest in the Cybertruck, check that episode of Jay Leno's Garage about the Cybertruck. It's rather interesting because I don't particularly care for the look of it either, but this guy justifies it 100%.
You know what? The two things that it doesn't do very well is tow and go off road, and it does both really well for about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, the electric drive. You mean?
Well, the problem with off-road is it uses so much power for the torque and everything that you burn through your battery so fast, and that's the problem with towing a trailer. You get 300 miles to a charge unless you're towing a 7,000-pound boat. Then you get like 80 miles to a charge, and then all the ones that have been off-road, they keep driving through creeks with them, and as soon as the water gets up to the bottom of the truck, it drowns the battery and they conk out. So, which is going to be with any battery because
Seriously?
they have to vent them, and the batteries are in the floor and they have to vent the batteries. So the minute the water gets in there, boink, you're screwed.
Well, we all know battery and water and batteries don't get along too well. So yeah.
That's right. And sharks, either one. None of those three get along.
The truck is so ugly they should put the battery on the roof so they can drive it through the water.
Well, then it would have a very high center of gravity and wouldn't be stable. You're silly.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, of course you are.
But there's
huge challenges right now with the EV vehicles right now. They just did a survey, like a national survey, and over 50% of those people that own electric vehicles say they will never buy another one.
Yep, and they're all cutting back on them. Toyota, everybody.
You should see there's a video where they compare an F-150 EV with just a standard F-150, just as Bruce suggested, pulling a boat or a trailer actually with a car on it. And they have the exact same trailer with the exact same vehicle, and they set out, and the guy's battery is at 100, and literally 10 minutes into the travel, you could the battery level is just visibly going to zero. And I mean, the thing can't tow anything. You can't.
No.
You can put cornflakes in the back, or as Kurt likes, some digital gravel, and that's about it.
Have you guys ever heard of TFL the TFL channel. It's the pickup truck channel, and it's three guys, and they have a business, and they buy all this stuff, and they do real road tests. They're located in Colorado, and they do pulls up the mountains up there. They have a road that they go on where they test all the, towing capabilities, right? So they bought a brand new. This is it's a great thing to watch. It's a whole series, actually. They bought a brand new Lightning, and they put a camper in the back of it, and it wasn't even a very big camper. And they drove it to Prudhoe Bay, up through Alaska and all that. And once you get out of the United States, you're screwed, because you gotta go to people's houses and break into their laundry rooms and rewire their frickin' dryer plugs so you can charge the damn things, and the whole story was how they were able to, they were the typical example of the trucks on the side of the road with a tow vehicle with a diesel generator charging the truck because they couldn't find places to charge it. And with those dryer plugs, it takes 12 hours. You got to go to bed and wake up in the morning, and hopefully your truck's charged. But it's a funny story, because those guys are so funny. If you ever get a chance, TFL Trucks, and watch the series of when they bought the brand new Lightning, because it is so funny. But it's really sad, actually, because this trip turned out to be a total cluster. And then one of the Ford people bought a brand new one, and they went on vacation with it. And they ended up leaving it in the next state because they couldn't keep it. It wasn't going far enough on a charge, and they had all kinds of issues, so they just left it.
But one of the biggest problems I had when I had my electric vehicle was I had battery anxiety. I always felt that I was going to run out of battery, even though I had
what kind of vehicle did you have? What did you have?
I had the BMW i3.
The i3.
The little ugly one.
Gary has that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he traded it in. He's got the Toyota now. But the i3, Jan, did yours have an engine in the back to charge the battery?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's, you got to carry some gas cans with you, because it only had like a 3-gallon tank, though, if I remember rightly.
No, 1.7.
1.7. 1.7, that is so funny.
Yeah, 1.7, because... And the reason they did that was because of the federal rebate. So if the tank actually could hold 2.5 gallons, but if it held 2.5 gallons, then the ratio to electric to gasoline didn't qualify for the rebate from the government, for the $7,000 that the government was giving.
I think Fred's battery might be low right now.
Hey, you got to start drinking early. Then that's it. He didn't start drinking early enough.
Yeah, my brother has an what is the Volkswagen one? The i4.
ID4, yeah.
ID4,
and
and he loves it. And they, they're both retired, and they don't. But here's the icing on the cake. So I said to my brother, because they have a condo in Park City, they live there, right? And I said, so did you put in a charger at your condo? And he said, oh no. And I said, well, how are you charging the car? He says, well, down the street about 3 blocks is the public library, and they have a bunch of chargers. So we just leave the car down there all night on the charger. I'm like, yeah, you're a douchebag. Why do you do that? That's just not cool at all. Spend the fucking money and put a charger in, because that's not cool at all.
My buddy,
that's money, Jan. That's money.
My buddy's got a Model 3, and his biggest issue isn't it having to do with charging. It has to do with potholes in California. He blew 3 tires in 1 week. 1 week.
Wow.
3 tires. And the car doesn't have a spare.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Does it have run flat tires or regular tires?
My wife's got run flat tires, and they're expensive as shit, man.
Yes. Yep. But anyway, so I got a question for you all, since you're talking about electric cars. Anybody familiar with the Lucid brand cars?
They look cool. They're cool looking cars.
Seen them.
I don't know anything about them, though.
What do you know about it?
That they're top rate. All I heard is like Road and Track or Car and Driver, one of those car magazines, rated them the best, and they have a very long range that they claim. They claim a very long range. And then the other day, I heard, this is what I wanted to see if you guys knew. I heard that they have a car that goes faster than the Tesla S Plaid.
In that mode, what is that mode called?
Plaid.
Ludicrous mode.
Yeah,
or
yeah, right.
Yeah,
but when you accelerate 0 to 60 in X number of seconds, I think the Plaid does it in like 2 seconds or something. So maybe the Lucid does it in 1.9 seconds or something.
So I have a funny story for you. So I have a friend that
here you guys go. Ford just came out. They missed earnings. Ford lost 1.1 billion on their EV division.
Oh, terrible. So I have a funny story for you. A friend of mine did the Tesla, had the camera. He was a camera guy, and he sat in the back seat when they were doing the ludicrous mode. They were trying to video what it was like to sit in the car, and they had to charge the car a couple times because it, like, you know, you only get like 3 ludicrous startups and you blow through the battery, right? But the problem was the car is so damn fast that he couldn't hold the camera still. Every time they slammed on the pedal to go, he'd end up like plastered in the back seat, and the camera was up in the back window. And they had to figure out a way to hold him in the back seat and hold the camera still so they could go through this ludicrous mode. And all the stuff, to hear him talk about it, it's so funny.
Yeah,
that's like
that's great.
There are some great videos of amateurs that have gone up with the Blue Angels, and they have a video of the second seat
puking.
And no, not puking, where they like go into a G-turn and the guy's like, just passes out.
So my brother's ID4, they drive to Canada a couple times a year. And so the first thing I was concerned about was like, what are you going to do when you drive up to Canada? Well, they still make the trip, but you know, the trip used to take them 3 days. Now it takes them 5. So, but you know, if you got nothing else to do, who the hell cares? But you know,
there is a phenomenal special on the Blue Angels on either it's on Netflix or Amazon, and it is really a wonderful, I mean, it's captivating about how they train these guys, and it's about a one season and how they get ready for the season. They're basically on tour is what it is, and it is impressive.
It is mind blowing.
So we had a motivational speaker that was a pilot for the Blue Angels. And he spent, it was much like the video that you saw, because I saw that movie too. But the one thing that he explained to us, and he had video of them doing it, is the guy on the ground, you know, has feeds from the planes, and he calls the maneuver. He like calls the show to the guys in the headsets, to the guys in the planes, you know. And you know, and he counts down the seconds, and he says, okay, we're going to do a 30-degree roll left. 2, 1, go, and they all like make their move. You know, it was so interesting to hear him call the show, because these guys are flying at like umpty zillion miles an hour. You know.
Wow.
Oh, there's no room for error there. There is absolutely no room for error. I mean, they are, especially when the planes are going like this and inverted, one's upside down, and they go, phew, you know, like, you know. They cross over each other. It's like, and I mean, they are really right over each other, and they're like inches apart, inches.
There's probably not any making fun of the client on that ClearCom.
No way.
No, COH.
So is there 4-wheeled sheep utes driving around? Lots of those over there.
4-wheel
sheeps.
Sheep have legs, not wheels.
Oh no,
sheeps?
inherent sheeps, yeah. Have you got those?
Like
you must have. Yeah, those
sheep?
ones. Yeah, I can't help myself when
I haven't heard of a vehicle called a sheep. There's an animal called a sheep, but you have a vehicle called sheep.
Rams, they're called.
Oh,
the Rams. Well, that's the truck.
Rams, okay.
The Dodge Ram, yeah.
Dodge Ram, yeah.
I thought he was talking about his girlfriend there. Wait a second. I thought he was talking about his girlfriend when he mentioned the sheep. You know, that's it, you know.
Oh, I thought you must have the Rams over there. I can't help myself when I see them driving down the road. I got to go, brrr, because they're so big. Because we've only just got into the big cars over here in the last 15 years, I suppose. Most of them don't fit in the car parks.
Can a Ram carry a rivage?
Sorry?
Can a Ram carry a rivage?
Oh, I think it would. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, another challenge with the electric cars right now is here in Thailand, the Chinese have a car called a Bird, a BYD. Yeah. And a friend of mine bought one, and I think he paid like 1 million baht. I might be exaggerating the number, but whatever it is, within a couple of months they just dropped their price 200,000 baht. So baht 3 to 1, you know, it's 30 to 1, 36 to 1. in regards to that. But I could tell you how angry he is that all of a sudden he bought a brand new car, and less
they
than
just
a year,
devalued it.
Yeah,
devalued it.
Tesla's having that issue right now.
Yes, Tesla did that a lot. Fortunately, my friend that has the Model S Plaid leased it, so he doesn't care. You know, he leased it for what he leased it for, and it's not losing anything or gaining anything because he's going to turn it back in. You know.
Yeah, well, if you lease it, well, that's the better part about the lease. If you buy a car that goes up in value, then you buy it out at the end of the lease, and then you could sell it and make some money. You know, so that's a risk.
Teslas are going down in value a lot.
Oh, they're going down.
Lowering the price.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're having a lot of problems with the guidance system of the Tesla.
You know, the body integrity on them isn't that good either.
I tell you what, I have a plug-in hybrid. Anybody else have a plug-in hybrid? It's an interesting concept. I didn't realize what I was getting into when I got it, but it's a plug-in hybrid. It gets, a few miles on the battery, like 30-ish miles on the battery. So for around town, it's fantastic. But charging it takes overnight to charge it. And I charge it on the 110 because I didn't want to spend the money to, have a 240 outlet put in.
What did you get, Kenny?
It's a BMW X5 hybrid plug-in hybrid,
Yeah.
But anyway, it's an interesting concept because when I watch, it shows on the dashboard how many miles since my last fill up, and it shows how many miles total and how many miles electric. And if I keep that ratio 2-to-1, then my gas mileage is quite good because I'm using a lot of electricity. But if it's less than 2-to-1, like say I drive 200 miles and 100 of those are electric, then it's pretty good. But if I drive 200 miles and it's only 50 miles electric, that's not so great. I don't get such good gas mileage, but it really goes up a lot when I do 2-to-1. It's pretty cool.
Does it show you?
Well, I have a question for you regarding for your car. Now, do you have to plug it in, or does the gas engine charge the electric part, the hybrid part?
Both. I can put it in the mode where it charges the battery as you're driving, or it always charges while it's driving a little bit. But I can put it in a fully charged mode so that it fully charges the battery and doesn't use the electric energy at all. And that just, uses more gas that way. But anyway, but I plug it in overnight on the 110 outlet.
So if you commute back to work every morning and you're only going 20 miles each way, you could get away with not using any gas at all if you plug it in every night. And
Exactly.
you don't have what is that called? Anxiety, charge anxiety.
Battery anxiety.
Yeah, you don't have that because you got the gas.
Your gas engine will turn on if you get down too low. So
right.
I had a 480H. I had an Lexus 480H, which is absolutely a gorgeous car. And it was a hybrid as well. And the coolest thing is you'd get to a light and it would be completely silent because then the battery would kick in. And when you started, the battery would start, would excel you, and then the gas engine would kick in. And that car was fast as fuck, man. That was unbelievably fast. I love a car when you sit there and you push the gas pedal and you could feel your back being thrown into the seat and you can't touch the dashboard,
So my wife has an NX 350 hybrid. And she likes it, but the engine going on and off all the time, that would make me crazy.
So is it a plug-in hybrid or just a regular hybrid?
No, it's a regular hybrid.
So you have no control over what it does charging wise. It just charges when it charges and doesn't when it doesn't.
Yep. And she gets about 45 miles to the gallon.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, she got it.
That's good.
I bought my car in December and she got hers 2 weeks later. Because she liked my backup camera, and she liked my surround view and all that stuff. But although one thing I got to say now is, since her car has all those cameras, she can actually park without denting everybody else's car because she was banging into everybody all the time. And drove me crazy. Now she's pretty good at parking now that the car parks itself, but she's afraid of it. It was really funny when she bought it because I spent about an hour in front of the house watching the car park itself, and I would put it in positions and then tell it to park and see what it did because I was like freaked out because I wouldn't let go of the steering wheel, But I got kind of used to it, but she's not confident of it yet. But it's amazing.
I have that feature in my car, but I haven't used it yet. But I'll have to try that one of these days.
Yeah,
but it definitely does definitely does drive itself. Like, if I put the cruise control on, it's called assisted driving. It'll keep me in the lane.
Yeah, I shut all that off on my car.
It works great. It works great.
Well, you get over close to the line and the wheel wiggles and it pulls you back. It's like, nah, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah,
it was driving me crazy.
Because I feel very safe in there, just driving that and knowing that it's going to keep me in the lane.
I like the emergency braking.
In front of me.
I like the emergency braking, and I like the cruise control that you can set to the distance in front of you. Yeah. But the rest of that, I just have shut off because it makes me.
I've heard that that's a lot of people feel that way, but I love it.
Hey, I got some news. Ken Porter's room is in the room. Ken Porter's room is in the room. There he is. Oh, and he's in the room as well.
Hello, Ken.
He brought his room with his room. All right.
I don't know.
It does interest me. It doesn't.
But it's a little hard to get in tonight.
All right, Ken. What do you drive? Ken Porter. What do you drive? Besides a big truck with a bunch of gear in it.
I have a 2023 Kia Stinger GT2.
Oh, the Stingers are nice cars.
And then I have a 2024 Telluride all-wheel drive or off-road one.
Those are pretty nice too. The Stinger, is it the 6 with the double turbo?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that thing is so fast.
385 horsepower, and
it's just the coolest.
Kind of fun to drive.
Is that like a midlife crisis car?
No, it's a small penis car. It's like the guys in Texas that have horns on the hood of their Cadillacs. You can tell they have really small dicks.
No, I thought it was the guys that have their pickup trucks raised up by 12 or 16 inches.
Well, that too. That falls right in that category.
It's actually a Sunday Fun Day car.
Yep.
So
what does your shirt say? What does your shirt say? Roger Waters what?
Does it say Trump is a pig?
We got it.
You're back from Pennsylvania when they were you're the second shooter there, Ken?
Oh my God. That was really sad. I mean, it was a sad moment in our history.
It's very sad.
Again, I mean, no matter how you feel about the guy, they shouldn't be violent. There's no place for violence in any aspect whatsoever. Did they ever find anything out about that guy, or is it completely radio silence?
No, they know a lot about him. You just are watching the wrong channel.
Well, what do they say?
There was also 9 shots, and there was 3 shooters, including the shooter on the roof that got the guy. But
I tried to watch the Magruder film, but I couldn't find it. Magruder wasn't there to shoot.
They talked to his parents, and they talked to all these people, and there's all kinds of stuff about him, and they've also gotten into his phone now, and they found out that he's had all kinds of phone calls to DC, and there's just some serious shit going on here, and they're not talking. The general news, they're not talking about it.
Well, somebody's got to be doing something about it.
It's got to be classified. Come on.
Why?
Right?
Why would it be
whatever?
classified?
It needs to get found out, and it needs to get fixed. I mean, this is bullshit. You just can't shoot people,
Well,
but whether or not that information is public information is questionable, if you ask me.
And they've talked to the cops. There's like 3 divisions of police that were there because they, outside of the perimeter there was the police department, and then over here there was a police department, different police department, and one of the problems that they had was that the special services, I guess the Secret Service, did not show up that morning at the meeting with all the other police departments. And one of the outcomes of that was everybody had different radio channels and nobody could talk to each other. And the Secret Service can't shoot people unless they're specifically identified. They told them you can't shoot until the shooter shoots first, when they could have got him because they knew he was up there. And they are also told that there was supposed to be police on that roof. So they had to verify that wasn't a cop that they saw, because they saw him up there 15 minutes before Trump got out on the stage. They knew shit was going on.
I heard it was more than that. I heard that they had reported this guy as being suspicious. And
Oh yeah,
and
he had a drone.
and
He was flying the drone around the day before, and
yeah,
I mean, there's just so much weirdness. There's so much
I mean
weirdness.
the question is how did a young kid, it wasn't he like 20 or
20,
something like that?
20.
How did a kid get up on a slope roof with a direct line of sight of the stage, and there was no snipers up on that roof?
He
How
bought
is
a
that
ladder
possible?
and he carried it over there that morning. But if you look at the perimeter drawings, right, they had a cutout where that building was because they were supposed to have local police on top of that building, and they were inside the building instead of on top of it. It was absolutely a party of stupid mistakes.
Didn't I read somewhere that
but
the Secret Service people declared that it was just really one big mistake?
Yeah, the whole thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the head of the Secret Service stepped down.
Right.
There you go.
But
quit.
there's also a whole lot of fishy stuff that.
Oh, there's the fishy stuff. What about the New York Times photographer who was shooting at 8,000 frames a second? Just, why not?
Yeah, he saw the bullet. They had a picture of the bullet going by.
What did the
It
guy
was like
have?
insane.
What
Like
did the guy have?
like a flying saucer.
What did the guy have against the hydraulic line that was holding up the PA on stage left? That's what I want to know.
Said that's a JBL PA. That should.
He didn't like the PA.
That was actually quite quite an impressive line array out there, I must say. Both sides, with like these big lifts and
That's why you don't hang from a great all, right there.
I thought that was kind of weird. They probably couldn't get real cranes though, because I had that problem when I did the first Chapman graduation when we did it outside on the football field. I hung 10 VDOS boxes per side, and I couldn't get cranes. I had to hang them off of those heavy-duty, soft-tired forklifts, and they worked pretty well, but it was just so weird. And we got them up in the air, and we shot 600 feet with them, and it was,
That's what that was. It was a great all, but you're supposed to have someone sitting in the great all the whole time. You have to have
really? Oh,
ready to start the engine and do whatever they need to do to keep it, But when somebody shoots your hydraulic line and you lose all your pressure all at once, that's gonna happen.
I didn't know. I hadn't heard that little story. That actually happened.
Did they shoot the hydraulic line? Did the guy miss and shoot the hydraulic line? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Didn't you see the video where you can see the hydraulic line get shot and the hydraulic fluid comes squirting out and the PA goes boop.
Yeah, he can't hit the dusted cartoon villain, but he can hit a little hydraulic line that's a half-inch wide.
Yep.
No, I didn't see that part of it. I guess I'll have to go back on YouTube and watch that kind of stuff.
Look at PA of the day on Instagram. PA of the day had the video on there. I'm pretty sure. Right,
I will do that.
Yeah,
that's a good tip. All right, let's go offline. We've talked enough for people out there. We've given them enough of a taste of who we are and what we do. We've been on for an hour.
Yeah, especially
live,
Fred.
So
Fred's talking his ass off again.
Yeah,
boy, Fred is so talkative.
Yeah, Fred.
I love Fred, man. I love Fred.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Fred at all.
Fred's had a rough day.
He's sleeping.
He needs to find a public library so he can recharge.
He's sleeping. But the day he came in drunk was the best show we ever had. That day was amazing. He was on fire that day. Hey, anyway, before we go off, is there anybody that has anything that they want to say to people online in case by this time they're still listening? By the way, we've got now.
I see a message from Mark J from Facebook Live, and he says he's going to try to make it here someday. That would be great to see and hear from you again, Mark. Great.
It would be wonderful. I mean, he was phenomenal. I didn't remember how articulate he was until he was on the show, and he's really, he's going through some serious health issues, So, and I'm happy that he seems to be back because I saw a picture from him that was. It seemed like he was at a live show, so that was great. He's working again, which is amazing. Anyway, he's more than welcome to be part of our panel. I
don't know if he's working again, but it would definitely be good to see Mark again.
Absolutely. So there you go. And anybody who wants to come and join us, just DM anyone, contact anyone on the panel. They'll get you the invite. Anyway, so remember, everything you heard today was an opinion. Remember, you make it happen. This was our 218th meeting. We'll meet again 219th next week. And remember, until then, you make it happen. So stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you again next time. And until then, you know what. All right, we're off the air.
All right. So Wayne, I got